Over 120 million people watched the last Super Bowl. Basically, the whole country stops for it. But nobody's telling you this. This summer, one single match pulls in over 1 billion people. Not 100 million, 1 billion. The biggest event on Earth is landing on American soil, in your city or one right next door, and most Americans have no clue it's coming. I didn't either. Give me a few minutes, and you'll understand the World Cup better than half the people in the stadium. Let's start with the number that broke my brain. The Super Bowl is huge, but it's an American thing. The World Cup is a human thing. When the final whistle blows on July 19th, over 1 billion people will have watched the same 90 minutes at the exact same moment. Streets go silent. Whole countries hang a "Be Back Later" sign on the door. Grandmothers, taxi drivers, presidents, all staring at the same screen. And in 2026, it's here. For the first time ever, 48 nations battle across 16 cities: the US, Canada, and Mexico, New York, LA, Miami. 104 games in 39 days. One loss in the knockouts and you're done. No next week, no second chances. Win or fly home. The final hits MetLife Stadium, right outside New York City, on July 19th. And here's why this matters to you. The entire world is about to walk through our front door. Millions of fans flooding your airports, your bars, your streets, chanting for countries you've never thought twice about. You can stand there confused, or you can be the one who actually gets it. So before the planet shows up, lock in the 3 things that make this whole thing click: the groups, the knockouts, and the one rule that decides everything. Follow now. When that first whistle blows, you won't be watching a game you don't understand. You'll be watching the biggest show on Earth, and you'll know exactly why. Okay, so what actually is the World Cup? Because if you've never followed soccer, the term just sounds big and mysterious, sort of like the running of the bulls. You've heard of it, but you have no idea what's really going on. Here's the best way to picture it. Every 4 years, entire countries, not teams, not cities, entire nations, pick their single best players to form one team. This isn't the Cowboys playing the Eagles. We're talking the United States versus Brazil. All the pride of a whole nation stuffed onto one field. When your country loses, it doesn't feel like your team lost. It feels like you lost. This year, 48 countries made it, and that's brand new. The tournament used to have only 32. They made it bigger for 2026. 48 teams, 104 matches, 39 days of soccer. If you tried to watch every single game, it'd nearly be a part-time job. And getting into this thing is no joke. Countries spend years grinding through qualifying matches, fighting for just one of those 48 spots. Some nations have never made it, not once in their entire history. So for most teams, just qualifying and walking onto that field is the achievement of a lifetime. Now let's break down how it actually works. This is where most people's eyes glaze over, so I'm going to keep it easy and do it the American way, through March Madness. You know the drill. There's a bracket. Win and you advance. Lose and you go home. That's how the World Cup ends. But it doesn't start that way. It starts with something called the group stage. And this is the one bit you need to understand. Picture this. 48 teams, split into 12 groups of 4. Every group is like a tiny round-robin league. You've got 3 other teams, and you play each one once. A win gets you 3 points, a tie gets you 1, a loss gets you nothing. When everyone's played their 3 games, the top 2 teams in each group move on. Plus, because the tournament's bigger now, the 8 best third-place teams sneak through too. Add it up. 24 group winners and runners-up, plus 8 third-place teams, equals 32 teams advancing. And that's when it turns into proper March Madness. Single elimination, win or go home. They call it the round of 32. And fun fact, this round has never existed in a World Cup until now. The field was never this big, so even the die-hard fans are seeing something new. From there, it's a straight bracket, and the names will sound familiar if you've ever filled out an office pool. Round of 32, then the round of 16, then the quarterfinals, the final 8, then the semifinals, the final 4, and finally, 2 teams, 1 game, the whole planet tuned in. The World Cup final, July 19th in New Jersey. Here's the timeline so it locks in. Group stage runs June 11th through the 27th. The round of 32, June 28th through July 3rd. Round of 16, July 4th through 7th. Yeah, we get knockout soccer on the 4th of July. Quarterfinals, July 9th through 11th. Semifinals, July 14th and 15th. And the final, Sunday, July 19th. So that's the whole shape of it. Group play to thin the field, then a knockout bracket to crown a champion. Group stage, then March Madness. Simple, but hang on. This next part is what actually gets Americans hooked. And I mean it. This is the reason this specific World Cup might change how the entire country feels about soccer. Stick with me because it's coming right up. Let me explain why people go absolutely nuts over this, because half of it isn't even the soccer, it's how much people care. In America, our sports loyalty is usually to a city or a school. You're a Lakers fan, you went to Bama, you bleed green for the Packers. The World Cup blows that up because your team is the whole country. When those players walk out, the entire stadium sings the anthem. Grown men break down crying, and for the next 90 minutes, it feels like 100 million people share one heartbeat. Think about college football Saturdays in the South. The way Bama fans don't just want Alabama to win, they feel like they are Alabama. Now stretch that across an entire nation, playing a country they share a border with, or a 100-year history with, or a grudge from the last World Cup they've been sitting on for 4 years. And the stakes? Brutal. In the knockout rounds, there's no best of 7. There's no next week. One game decides everything. If it's tied after 90 minutes, you play 30 more. And if it's still tied, it all comes down to penalty kicks. One player, one ball, one goalie, and an entire country holding its breath. People who've won every trophy there is say a World Cup penalty is the scariest thing in sports. I don't care how casual you are about soccer, a World Cup shootout will get your heart pounding. That's why a single goal in this tournament becomes part of who you are. There are countries where people can tell you exactly where they were standing for a goal scored 50 years ago. The way Americans remember the miracle on ice, except it happens every 4 years for dozens of nations at the same time. Now look, there's a messy side too, and you should know about it because it's already popped up in the American news cycle. Hosting something this big is chaos. Can US cities actually handle this many fans? The logistics, the insane crowds, stadiums that were built for football, the American kind, suddenly hosting millions of people flying in from all over the world. Ticket prices have become a real sore spot, with a lot of regular fans furious they can't afford to see matches in their own city. NFL stadiums are being physically rebuilt, fields resized, logos stripped out, just to meet FIFA's soccer standards. And don't forget the skepticism from outside. There's this quiet assumption in parts of the global soccer world that America doesn't really get this sport, that we're just renting the big stage, putting on a flashy show, and then forgetting the whole thing the day after the final. Which brings us to the part that actually matters, America's place in all this. So let's get personal, because we've got a team in this. The United States automatically qualified as a host nation, and we're in a group with Paraguay, Australia, and Turkey. On paper, we're the top-ranked squad in that group, sitting around number 16 in the world. Not a giant, but legit, and playing at home is a real edge. Here's the straight truth though. The United States has never won a World Cup. Not once. Best finish ever? 3rd place, all the way back in 1930. The very first tournament, before your grandparents were born. For nearly 100 years, this is the one giant trophy America has never lifted. We own the Olympics. We invented half the major sports on the planet. But in the game the rest of the world obsesses over, we're still outsiders. So no, nobody realistically expects the US to win it all this year. I'm not going to sell you a fairy tale, but that's almost not the point. The point is that for the first time, the whole tournament is happening here, where a casual American can actually watch a match in person, in their own time zone, with their hometown crowd. A whole generation of American kids is about to watch the best players alive compete a few miles down the highway. And that's the real story of 2026. Not just who lifts the trophy. The big question is whether we finally fall in love with this thing. Because every other country on Earth has already had that moment. The summer soccer grabs them and never lets go. America has somehow never had it. We've always sat on the edge, looking in, kind of politely confused. This is the closest we've ever been to getting pulled all the way into the world's biggest party. Over 1 billion people are about to watch. The only question is whether you'll be one of them, And when it's all over, does America finally become a soccer nation? I think that day might be coming, and honestly, I think you're going to have a lot more fun with it than you expect. So here's what I want you to do. If this finally made it click, if you went from, I don't get it, to, okay, I actually want to watch this, hit subscribe right now. And do me a favor, drop a comment and tell me what surprised you most. Was it the billion viewers, the 48 teams, or the fact that America's best ever finish was almost 100 years ago? I read every one, and it tells me what to break down next. Over the next few weeks, I'm covering this entire tournament for Americans in plain English. The rules, the rivalries, the long shots to root for, and exactly what's happening as the bracket unfolds. Don't walk into the biggest event on Earth totally lost. Subscribe, and let's figure this whole World Cup thing out together, before the rest of the country even realizes what's happening.